It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports, Pete.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. And that's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
With Ease US, make studio quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects. Never been easier to create professional grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Hi, I'm Mitch, the co-founder of Cake, a sexual health and wellness company designed for today and designed for you. Yes, you. The entire product line can be found at hellocake.com, and it's also available in every Walmart near you.
Send money abroad in just a few steps with Remitly. Sign up with your email, enter an amount, choose how your loved ones receive the money, enter your recipient's information, select a payment method, hit send, and relax. Download the Remitly app today.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated. Each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Whether it's sports, theater, or concert, for the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. Ticket Liquidator. The You Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. That's ULIKE.com. You Like.
Who's grateful today? Who's grateful? Are you grateful? I know I'm grateful. The Pete Sousa Show is grateful for Slovacics. You can be for goddamn sure about that. Thank you to Slovacics. No better weekend, by the way, to tap into what Slovacics has to offer. And here's what I mean by that. You're up and down 35, right? I mean, really, you're going for a family Thanksgiving, or you're coming back from a family Thanksgiving, headed to a football game. You got a Baylor game coming up against Houston on Saturday. If you're up and down 35, which you will be this weekend, and let's say you're on like, your Apple Maps like I do, and you see an accident, ahead in, I don't know, Waxahachie, well, pull off if you're headed north, coming from Austin, pull off in west and go to Slovacics. Go see Ray, tell him Pete sent you, enjoy the holiday spirit, enjoy the kolaches, and enjoy Slovakics. Okay. Also, Crawford Austin Properties, Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers, First National Bank of Central Texas, DraftKings. They've come aboard. We'll get more into that partnership as we get into the new year, but certainly grateful for that. And grateful to have Scotty Swingler in the studio, Chris Fischer in Central Florida, of course, Socorro Family Ford. And I know Lizzie's in there with Scotty. So, yeah, I am in North Texas getting ready to do the Thanksgiving Day thing. And we have a very special show for you today. A friends and family edition of the Pete Souza Show put together by who else but the producer with all the tricks up his sleeve, Chris Visser. Let's start, though, with sports before we get to all the fun stuff. Yesterday, it was revealed, and this was a secret that had not been very well kept over maybe the last 3 days, right? But Eric Morris is going to be the head coach for Oklahoma State. A huge move for Oklahoma State. This is a guy who has become one of the top innovators really in college football as far as offense is concerned, averaging, I think, 50 points a game this year, 46.3 now as I look at it, and 503 yards of offense per game. This is not like a flash in the pan. Eric Morris has been doing this at UNT for a while. This year, things have really come together overall with his team. You know, Drew Messermaker is a huge reason why. I will pull Scotty in at some point. Scotty, I'm not trying to get like too much emotion here, but I do have a question. I'll ask Scotty towards the end of this segment. But I can tell you, I'll tell you about my interaction with Eric Morris. Last year, I had a UNT game, right? And I knew, by the way, you want to know how much of a badass this dude is just as a guy, okay? He went to Texas Tech, okay? He played for Mike Leach at Texas Tech. Now, if you've seen Eric Morris, he is, if he's 5'10", he's having a great day, okay? Mike Leach nicknamed him, called him the Elf at Texas Tech. He actually had him wear an elf costume to practice on a couple different occasions. And Eric Morris was like a really good receiver. He ended up being like, I think he had almost 2,000 yards receiving at Texas Tech when they were real good. You know, he was a contributor. And, yeah, we will talk about Baylor and the possibility of if they maybe fumbled the bag. But first, let's talk about Eric Morris. As a dude, right, I think you look at him and you say, okay, he's a Mike Leach guy. And the story I just told right there tells you he's the kind of guy you want to be around, right? Doesn't take himself too seriously, but when it comes time to put on the hard hat and kick somebody's ass, he's ready to go. If you talk about Mike Leach with him and you ask him a question about Mike Leach, there's a chance he will get emotional. I witnessed that firsthand last year in our coaches meeting with him. I asked him about Coach Leach, and he started to talk about him, and he started to get welled up. That's the kind of depth we're talking about. And then you look at his quarterback development. I'll give you two names, okay? And probably polar opposites of one another, but maybe not. He helped with the development of Patrick Mahomes. When Patrick Mahomes was at Texas Tech, he began at Texas Tech as like an inside wide receivers coach. And then he evolved and helped coach offense with what's his face, Kingsbury. And, you know, eventually he kind of goes off and does his own thing, and here he is now. But you look at his development of Patrick Mahomes, and you look at his development right now, it's like, what does the rear view look like? Well, it looks like Patrick Mahomes, right? What does the present look like? Well, it looks like Drew Messermaker, a zero-star guy who is now probably one of the most talked about quarterbacks in college football and has one of the best stories in college football. Now, I'm not saying that Eric Morris was the guy who, okay, he's 100% responsible for Drew Messermaker, but like, dude, it takes, first of all, I talked to my friends about this in college sports, and even some buddies of mine, my friend Tony Hayden and I were talking the other day about walk-ons now, and how if you play a walk-on, Tone played basketball at Mount St. Mary's. He was a walk-on and got a scholarship. But if you're a coach and you play a walk-on or a preferred walk-on's a little different. And I'm talking nowadays, like 3 years ago, you know, Josh Cameron was a preferred walk-on. Now it is so much different with the numbers. If you're playing a walk-on, in college football or college basketball, or if you're playing a guy like Drew Mestamaker, who is a 0-star guy, there comes a time when folks are looking at your program and they're saying, what the hell did he do wrong that he's got to play the 0-star guy? Like, how bad did they get the talent assessment, right? Hey, looks like Eric Morris got it right. And I have a very good feeling for Oklahoma State that this will certainly move them in a positive direction and move the needle a little bit. When you think about instant success and all that, it's going to take a minute. Like, the Big 12 is real good. The thing that Oklahoma State has now is they have resources as far as like that football facility and that football stadium, and the passion around that program is like second to none, right? Especially when they got it cooking. The resources will probably begin to flow again, because when you talk to people around that program in Stillwater, a lot of people backed off in their support of the Oklahoma State football program because of differences with Mike Leach. Mike Leach was not one to back down from anybody, no matter how big the check you were writing. He literally went at it with T. Boone Pickens. He was like, he didn't get along with the biggest booster and maybe the history of college sports, you know, back then up until the Cody Campbell situation. So this is, I mean, that's all good news now, because you alleviate the headache. And I don't look at Mike Gundy as a headache in any way, shape, or form. But if you're an Oklahoma State fan, there certainly were headaches around, are we tapping into our resources as best we can? Well, you weren't, because your coach wasn't getting along with some of the biggest and most powerful boosters. But that has all changed. It changed last night. I think it's awfully cool with, you know, we hear all this stuff around Lane Kiffin and what his future holds at Ole Miss. And it's like, you know, again, I'll tap into our buddy Shahan, what he said. Like, he takes the air out of the room kind of for the team and that situation, regardless of what he's done. You look at this situation, obviously UNT nowhere near the profile that Ole Miss has, but like, the deal's done. And like, the second line of the Ross Dellinger article that I read last night on Yahoo when it came through was like, he's going to coach at UNT this week against Temple if they make the championship game in the American, and then into the playoffs if they go there. Pretty cool. Like, everybody's on the same page. And with the calendar and the way that things present themselves now in college football, that's not always the case. So you've got to give a tip of the cap to UNT, Oklahoma State, Eric Morris, everybody involved, right? Because if you're a UNT, you can sometimes get your feelings hurt, which I totally get. Like, if I'm the athletic director of UNT, who, by the way, is a hot commodity, and I know that Baylor was seriously looking at him and Eric Morris, right? So when you look at, how about who's Metal Gear's old? I love this guy. And can you hit on that, Scotty? Because I like this. I hope Morris brings OK State back, because the Big 12 is better with OK State being relevant. I feel like Oklahoma State and Utah are the teams the committee will like. I think that's a really good point, and I couldn't agree more. Oklahoma State is a power and was a power in college football up until 3 years ago. I mean, I did I did a game there 3 years ago. They were ranked like 10th in the country. The place was packed. They ran whoever they were playing out of the building. It was one of those bye games. But yeah, they've been super duper good up until just recently. So there's no reason to think they can't get right back there. Now you get to Baylor, because I mentioned the AD. And, you know, the question now is, well, did they fumble the bag with this whole situation? You know, I heard stories and reports and talked to people who said that they were close on this situation. But hey, I apparently the deal didn't get done for whatever reason. And that's one of those deals where, whether you like it or not as a fan, there is so much more to that situation that we have no idea about. You know, maybe they didn't come to a deal or an agreement because Eric Morris had, you know, a bug up his butt about something, or maybe Baylor is too much money. We just don't know. So we'll never know. It's hard to point the finger at Baylor. Let's take a look at what Bear the Truth is saying real quick, Scotty. Do you think these guys were brought to the table by the administration and board of regents, and they simply couldn't get the deal done, So they fell to Oklahoma State. Yeah, I believe that. I mean, I'm not going to say, and this is where I want to bring Scotty in real quick before we get to our gratitude list here on Thanksgiving. Scotty, I want to ask you a question, 2 questions. One, personnel. No, let's go one overarching school theme. What job is better right now if you're Eric Morris, Oklahoma State or Baylor? And put yourself at 30,000 feet. Remove yourself from the trenches. You know, you're coming into a program and you've got the keys and you want to win a national championship. Where do you want to coach?
I mean, they're pretty on par with one another, but it's hard to get my bias all the way out of the situation, primarily locationally, and say that Oklahoma State's a quote unquote better job than Baylor.
I would say the one thing that lends itself as a football coach to Oklahoma State being a better job, maybe is just I can get just about anybody I want into school there.
Sure. Well, and hey, I'll give this to Oklahoma State. They've got better fans. Like that.
Well, yeah.
Like those fans are awesome. They show up. I've said it before. I think that's probably the most underrated road environment in college football. Like nobody ever talks about that stadium as like a very intimidating place to play. But the game I went to out there, it was intense, man. I mean, it's a great place to catch a college football game. So
and they were not doing well this year, and for a long time that place was still selling out.
Correct. Yeah.
Like they really love their Oklahoma State Cowboys. All right, last question for you. Will Drew Messamaker go with Coach Morris to Oklahoma State? I didn't read anything about that, and I figured we would.
Yeah, I'm sure they're waiting, you know, maybe to finish the season or for the portal to officially open, but I would be shocked if he doesn't. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Yeah. By the way, if we're talking about schools that have a strong legacy at quarterback, Oklahoma State's one of them. Not quite like maybe Texas Tech, not even quite like Baylor, kind of mid 2010s, but like Oklahoma State's put some dudes in the NFL. Mason Rudolph just started a game for the Steelers, you know? So yeah. Like it's a place that has a legacy of strong offense, dynamic offense, and good quarterback play. And I'm sure that's attractive. And yeah, with he and Morris teaming up, you know, I know you said it might take them some time to get good, but I imagine they should improve pretty dramatically, pretty quickly, at least in their ability to score and put points on the board against teams. And in the Big 12, that can win you a lot of games if you do it well enough.
And, you know, I did get here. Let's do one little shout out for a positivity for Baylor folks. I heard Phil Bennett on 365 Sports talking to Smoke either yesterday or the day before, former Baylor defensive coordinator, the only guy on that staff, the Brile staff, that got a D1 job after all that stuff happened right away. He ended up at Arizona
immediately,
State.
Right.
Yeah. But he mentioned, you know, Baylor, I know we're all, and this goes for Oklahoma State too. He's like, if you can play the portal right, you can be good pretty darn quickly.
Yeah.
If you evaluate talent the right way and get the right guys. Now, that is not easy, but that type of evaluation doesn't discriminate from, you know, whether you're Texas Tech or you're Baylor, right? If you can find the right guys that fit your system the right way.
Yeah. Well, and Pete, look no further than Kurt Signetti. Like, I hate to keep bringing this guy up every time we're talking about head coaches, but nobody in their right mind would have called Indiana a better job than Oklahoma State or Baylor. And they're the number 2 team in the country. And it's because that first year last season, he brought in so many guys, not just from James Madison, but schools they played against. And I imagine Morris is going to do the same thing. Listen, North Texas still has a shot to be the group of 5 representative in the playoff. Eric Morris is going to be able to get the best players off that team and probably go to some of the best players from teams they played, USF, for instance, and convince them that they can come play a dynamic offense in a Power 4 conference. By the way, a Power 4 conference that's probably more wide open for any team to win than the other ones, and put stuff on tape to make the NFL. Yes, he can turn that program around quickly, but the transfer portal is crucial to that.
From talking to like guys like Ganaway and doing Please Bear With Me and getting into recruiting like you do, how attractive is a wide open offense like this to young recruits, in our area of the country, right? Like Big 12
it's
guys.
huge. And by the way, we don't even have to go as far as what I talk about with Ganaway or Tim Watkins or some of these other guys. Think about what Quinn Murphy told you when we interviewed him a few months ago on this show.
Yeah.
When we asked Baylor commitment, Quinn Murphy, who's a very coveted, good quarterback, third leading touchdown passer in Texas State history, by the way. Saw he got that mark this last weekend.
End of the show.
Yeah, that's right. He immediately said Spav. Like, I'm committed to Baylor because I want to play for Spav. That is an offense that fits my skills as a quarterback. So I think all these guys care deeply about the system and the positions it puts them in. By the way, that's how Bryles got 3-4 straight all-conference quarterbacks. And, depending on which year you look at Baylor's roster under Art Bryles, 4 NFL receivers on the same team. And it was just because that system was going to get you making highlight plays every week. And Morris's system is one of the systems that's doing that today.
All right, I got the best question I'm going to ask you all day before I go to our first guest on our gratitude day. I am like a football nerd, and I love to go back into the archives and dig into the crate and watch special football games that sort of, it's like going to watch Kansas play on a Thursday night in 1992 when Glenn Mason was their coach and the team was out of its mind, playing better than it ever have, and it captured all of Lawrence. For Baylor, if I were to watch one game during the Art Briles era that really showed me, like, and I want ABC there, I want a huge night, and I want a huge vibe, whether it is at the old stadium or whether it's at McLean. What game am I watching? Am I going back to a game at Floyd Casey, and I want it during the Briles era?
Oh, buddy. So the cliche answer, but it has to be mentioned, is that 2014 comeback against TCU, 61-58. Not only like probably the best I have felt McLean Stadium feel, but also shows you that the explosiveness of that offense to be down 21 with 11 minutes to go and score quickly enough to win that game. By the way, mostly running the football, which people forget about the Briles offense. It wasn't like a West Coast air it out, air raid system. It was like run the football. But the other one I'll give you that was special in 2013, as Baylor is marching towards its first Big 12 championship, in the last season in Floyd Casey Stadium, the second to final home game, Oklahoma was coming to town. It was a blackout game. It might have been the first true blackout game that Baylor did. And they took the tarp off the end zone at Floyd Casey. So for those who are unfamiliar, yes, for many years, there was a big tarp covering one end zone section at Floyd Casey Stadium, and they sold so many tickets. And it was the first time in my life that I can remember they sold out Floyd Casey Stadium and had to remove that tarp. And it was a blackout game at night. Oklahoma came in. That place, that's the closest I have probably felt Baylor, and I've heard other Baylor fans say this, to feeling like an SEC environment. And we blew the brakes off of them. Oklahoma was ranked, walked into Waco, and we blew the brakes off. Like it was never in doubt, and it was just total dominance from start to finish. Those are the two I would probably tell you.
That's the one I'm going to watch, and here's why. I love an old school stadium, right, like Floyd Casey, having to facilitate a huge national broadcast. Like, I love the old dumpy stadiums where Brent Musburger had to cram it, and he loved it, but had to cram it. You know what I mean? Like the biggest games. And let's bring in a guy right now. Mike Souza is with us. Mike was in 1987 when Villanova had their first national TV game since football came back. They played Gordy Lockbaum.
Gordy Lauschbaum from Holy Cross.
1987, Michael.
Can you hear me? Am I on?
Yes. 1987. You were at that game at Villanova Stadium, weren't you?
I was indeed at that game. And I
was an ESPN game.
It was. And I remember Gordy Lockbaum being absolutely unstoppable.
He had a bunch of touchdowns. I remember that.
Now I was in high school then, and that was a blackout game for me, but in a different sense. In a different sense. Thank God I've been sober for a while now. But that was Mike Sousa's first blackout game, I believe.
Oh, we're off to a great start, Mike. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
can I?
go ahead.
Yeah, you could just
You look
shut your
good,
mic.
man.
You can shut your mic off if you want. Listen, um, this is going to be like Swingler taking over. Um, hey, first, it really is great to be here, Pete. And before I was brought in to share some interesting things about you and growing up. But before we get that, I listen to the show every night on my way home from work, and I love it. Um, and I want to also thank the fans out there who listen to you and support the show and wish them a happy Thanksgiving from the Souza family. And I also want to thank Scotty, the man behind the scenes. Well, he's not always behind the scenes, but he does a lot for the show. And we thank you, my family, for the support you've given Pete and doing this show. We appreciate it. And I gotta say, I believe this is the B block. Is that right? Is this a B block?
Yeah, kind of.
Because yeah, I guess it's like an A minus. Because I know
No, but it's the A. It's the first guess, which is like I know. Pretend, and you really have to pretend. This is David Letterman. You you open the show, you do a monologue, you take a break, and then you bring back Robert De Niro.
Okay, good. All right, good. That's good because I'm grateful to be in the A block. A legend of sports broadcasting production, Chris Visser, told me that this is the block to be in. This is the money block, and I'm just thrilled to be here.
Thank you very much, Chris Fischer. So,
hey, I was also thinking about the 2014 Baylor game, right? Like,
shut up, dude.
Can you imagine what that? I mean, Lord, for a big one, the after party was probably crazy too. So,
Mike. So, I mean, what's going on? You said you had some stuff to share.
Just. Yeah,
what if you were out of gas? You're done. You're
I'm done. That was a lot. I do. No, I actually thought, that I'm here waiting in the wings as just some other mystery guests are. And you did a great job keeping it together while you were doing your monologue or whatever that is. Like I could tell. Yeah. I mean, you've always had the broadcasting chops and gravitas of like a young Pete Axthelm, and that really came through there, I thought. And by the way, thanks for dressing up today for this big show. I mean, Jesus Christmas.
I'm on the road, man. It's hard enough to get the studio up.
Dad is swirling in his grave right now. I mean, it's so disrespectful there, right? 100%.
Almost as disrespectful as when you used to wear his jackets to work and leave them all crumbled up. And he would be like, "What the hell happened to my black jacket?" He would say, "Dad, I saw different strokes tonight, and Will said that if you were honest, you could get out of trouble. So I'm sorry, it was me."
Listen, I don't even know. I mean, look, the man was. We'll leave that for a later time, okay? I also loved earlier, when you use phrases in your broadcasting world like super duper good. That's impressive. That's great.
They're not all going to be home runs, Mike.
No, they're not. They're not. I swear to God, it's the greatest thing listening to this show. And like I told you, I want an ISDN line that I could just pop in at any time because.
I mean, honestly, that would be great. You're the president of a company. People should know that this idiot who has all this time in the morning is actually the president of like a very successful Fortune 500 company.
It's talk about gratitude. I am grateful for that. I literally learn how to stay out of the way and let all the great people at System 1 do their amazing jobs, right? Mike, that was a plug.
Mike, how was it when you were the coach of our freshman football team at Archbishop Carroll? Mike was our head coach. What about when you assigned to play for me and I dropped the ball?
He dropped the ball. Well, first of all, you didn't have a name, did you?
No, you just called me by my number.
Yes, it wasn't 44 back then. It was like 17 or something. Yeah, it was. Look, one of the best. It was, in all honesty, the greatest privilege to be a coach on that team and matriculate through to varsity as a coach as you did, and watch you bloom in your football career. I mean, that was just awesome. You know, the play I'll always remember is against, was it Judge?
Father
When
Jones.
we
Yes.
were way down, and I thought we were dead in the water, and there was a fumble, and next thing you know, I see 44 like a half-cocked gazelle running to the end zone, and I remember thinking to myself, like, I can still get goosebumps. Like, that's how you know your relationship with somebody is like meaningful and deep, when you get that feeling of goosebumps and pride and like overcome with emotion. Like, that was one of my best sports watching moments ever.
That
Like,
was so
ever.
much fun. And so we returned the kick, and then it was 14 to like 6 because we were getting crushed. And then we came back and we won the game to go to the championship.
Yeah, that was absolutely amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
that was like that was pretty special.
And then Kevin
Um,
came out of the stands at the divisional champ. I don't even know where our
He
brother,
always
oldest
showed
brother Kevin, was like Shady Chuck, right? In the in Happy Days, like he was on the first episode and then he disappeared, right?
You
Pretty
never
much.
never saw Chuck again.
That was like
Ever.
Kevin at our home when we were growing
He
up.
would
So
just appear. He would just walk through and like, you know, Chuck had a basketball. Kevin had like a guitar. He would walk through and like strum and just keep going. You know. Hey, you know, I'm not great at segues in this broadcasting world that you do here, but I have to, before we get to some of your interesting stories, and I have to bring up a thought about Scotty, right? Like, and how much support he gives you. But I mean, when you're asking him about Baylor stuff, right? Like,
awesome.
I pause now, though. I thought he was awesome. I thought he was the best. But I want to bring you back to one of my favorite shows, November 21st of last week, when you were noticeably absent from the show. So the Pete Souza show without you. Scotty, who's got an amazing voice, great takes. He spent 43 minutes out of a 45-minute and 35-second show talking about everybody in America who may be the next head coach of Baylor. And I was like, he's got inside information. I was on the edge of my
He does have some inside information.
listen, can I finish?
Yeah.
And then, are you frozen or me? Nice. And I believe it was like the 25-minute mark of the show. It was released that Dave Aranda was staying, and that news didn't make its way back to Scotty. But I just thought that was like, wow. I mean, there was not even like, you know, per the chance Aranda stays. Nope. It was like everybody was going to coach except for him, and then he was back. So, I'll remember
Scotty
that.
wasn't the only one. Everybody was shocked by that. But Michael, that does say a lot.
I love how you defend Scotty.
You're a Philadelphia Eagles Villanova fan, and you're driving somewhere in southeastern Pennsylvania, listening to Scotty Swingler break down the possibilities.
That
of who
says
Baylor's
it a
next
lot.
coach is going to be. Tip of the cap to Scotty for that one.
Yeah. And by the way, Scotty does a great job. And honestly, wherever the powers that be, like, you guys should be together for a long time, man. I love it. Great chemistry. It's just awesome.
Definitely.
I really love it. But that was a great moment for me. As soon as I stopped listening to that show, I heard about Aranda. I was like, this is. By the way, should Scotty be a Philly fan? Like, he is why?
Well,
I
because he's a
mean,
maniac.
Well, a maniac. Like, I mean, he must have dedicated at least 20 hours of the last 3 weeks to just blasting Baylor in their current state of football.
Well, he's hardcore, and that's why I think I love him, because he reminds me of a Philadelphia Eagles fan. He truly does.
I know the passion he has.
Hey, I'm chiming in. We're here to put pictures up of Pete, and you're over here.
We gotta move along. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Scotty. Thank you.
We've got my own guest to roast me over here, Michael. I need you to stay on task, okay?
I'm sorry. It's hard. Scotty, you are the best, buddy. Honestly, you are such an important part of the show. I had to do that. You know, if we poke fun, that means we love where I come from. So
yes, it's our love language.
But I digress.
Is there meat to this thing you're doing here today? Like, are we getting to something?
So listen. I wanted to share some interesting things about you, right? And I'll get to these quick, right? Because I'm out of time.
No, take your time.
No. Like, people don't know about you, and like what a maniac you were growing up. They don't know about that Pete Souza, like the Pete Souza who dressed as Superman, right? And was the guy like that. By the way, this isn't Halloween, guys. Look at the sun out there. This is a Tuesday, and he's running around like that. Okay, like I mean, that was a normal thing for him, and that's one of my favorite memories ever. And you can leave that up there, Scotty. Well, I thought like he got sent home from school, kindergarten, because he was the Hulk from the TV show, right? And he would not get out of character. He scared the girls so much that Alice Waters had to call mom to come pick him up from school because he would not stop being Hulk. He was growling and flexing in front of all the girls. That is one of the best and most true Peter Sousa stories ever. This is the guy that we're getting our information from in the greater the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Like, this is the guy, right? The Hulk and Pete Sousa on a Tuesday, guys. Look at that haircut. Look at him.
All right.
Look at the smile and that stupid cape. Unbelievable.
It's mom's fault.
I know. And listen, what am I grateful for? I'm grateful that we have our mother. We had some tough times recently.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Shout out to my, our big brother Kev, who's always watching us. But
Like, what the hell, dude?
Pete and mom, right?
That's not a real picture, by the way. That's not a real picture.
This is Pete in high school.
That is not a real picture. It's Mike. Mike did that to pictures.
Could you calm down, please? Please. I mean, this. You're just getting upset. Pete's relationship with my mother is so bizarre, and I've got it. And like, they are so close, it's unbelievable. And thank God for Christy and Lex and Caden for coming into your life, because when we were growing up, there was a couple in New England, right? Friends of my family. We would go visit. We would go visit every summer, and there were Ronnie and Catherine Brown. Ronnie and Catherine were adorable. Ronnie doted on Catherine, doted. And it wasn't until we were like 23 when our parents communicated to us, probably the first time, that Ronnie and Catherine were not married. Ronnie was Catherine's son. So I thought for the longest time that Pete and mom are going to be like Ronnie and Catherine. Like, that's the relationship they have, right? Look at that.
Oh, we're going to watch the Oscars tonight? I was like, wow, these guys are in love.
We would sit there and watch, what are you boys doing? I'm like, God, he dotes on her. So that was I mean, that's what I thought Peter and mom were going to be like, but thank God for Christy. I mean, can you, unbelievable. And look,
I would have loved to have gotten some sodium pentothal in Dad and got what he really thought of Ronnie and Catherine.
And Lord, no, and that's the thing is, like, that's how much we communicated with depth in our family. Like, we probably even said, like, they're such a good couple, like, and like, wow, like but thank God that you and you are now going to get married until, let's see, Christy's got till June to figure out what's really going on there. All right, I think I'm close to out of time, but I really, let me just 30 more seconds, Scotty. I can see the light flashing behind him.
It's stoplight at the Comedy Store.
Oh yeah, here we go. Phenomenal. I've got what?
By the way, we still need to have you and Todd Glass on at the same time. That is something that, like, listen, I can't believe I haven't done that by now.
Look, you know my quote, right? I can come on whenever. Let's get Corey.
Mike, you really look good today, by the way.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
Off sugar? Is that what it is?
For the most part, yeah. I'm off sugar. I've been, I've been.
Did your body have any kind of reaction when you dropped sugar?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of rough days there, but it's worth it, Yeah, but I'm not totally, like, I am way down on sugars though. And that's the new addiction now, right? Just feed my face with sugars.
Totally.
Look, but in all seriousness.
By the way, if we can isolate that sound, by the way, that's the new addiction. Just
by the way, hello, I love sugar. Listen, I love what you're doing here. I'm so proud of you as a human being for your journey. I love that I get to listen to you every night. And Scotty does a fantastic job. And to have you in my life, and mom still thriving, and what we've been through. Thriving. We adore mom, adore her, and the fact that we can go to dinner, the three of us, and laugh our asses off, life goes on and we're enjoying it. And, I'm grateful for Lily, Callie, Cade, my lovely wife, Tara. Like, I mean, I know her mom's at the house, Star, pacing around, maybe watching this out of the corner of her eye, but my cup overflow with gratitude, man. Like I could not be more blessed to have the people I have in my family. And, this is your show, buddy. And I'm so grateful for you, and all you've accomplished. It's unbelievable. And you got to listen. He said, "Don't say this," but you got
Give
to
it some
shout.
perspective. I mean, when I was 33 and didn't have a pot to piss in,
Yeah,
window to
that's
throw
true.
it out of. That's
Oh
kind of
my God.
the whole.
I mean, when Lily, like a 7-year-old, had zero respect for you. She
Tell
would
them the story about Lily, and then you
oh,
can go.
when she would come over in the
This is
morning.
embarrassing, but it's a good story.
She would come over in mornings, and Uncle Pete was living at home, and I think she was 5 or 6, and Pete's in bed,
Before
and
I got sober.
most mornings, if it's before he got sober, Pete's this one morning, Lily comes up to the room. She just walks right in, and Pete's sitting on the bed putting his shoes on, and she looks at him and goes, "Uncle Pete, you got a job?" Like the answer was no. He probably had to see a parole officer or something. But hey, shout out to Chris. Fischer is the man putting this together. Grateful for him. What a behind the scenes legend. Your whole crew there, man. I love this show. Keep it up. And thank you for having me on it. Yeah, I enjoyed this.
Love you, Mike.
Love you guys. Love you, buddy.
That I am. All right. See you, bud. Talk to you soon. That is my brother, Michael, and he is a legend. And truly, I will say one thing about Mike I didn't say when he was here. So when he, in like 1997, he moved to California, where our brother Kevin already was, to become an actor. And, he goes out there, starts to like hit a little bit, like he's hanging out, like he's in acting classes with Jimmy Fallon. Our friend Todd Glass is out there. And, he had responsibilities back at home. So he only was out there for 3 years. Like, I will tell you, if that guy stays in Hollywood, there's no question he's not a contributing member of several projects out there, most of which based around humor, because the cat has funny in his bones. All right, Scotty, what are we doing next, pal?
We're gonna have to throw to a break, otherwise I might get murdered here in the Alica building. So let's throw to a break.
We're gonna take a quick break right here because Scotty might get murdered. And Slovacics, thank you very much. We'll be right back after this.
Bubble allows you to make it real and for it to actually work. So I feel like Bubble does bridges that gap and being able to give people the opportunity to make their ideas come to life really quickly too. I love that I can sit down and build something the way that I think it should be built and have the control over it.
Bubble turns ideas into fully scalable apps. Try Bubble today.
Hi, I'm Jo from Face Theory. You're going to want to have a specific goal for your skincare routine. What do you want to achieve? Active ingredients are really strong, and if you're using too many at once, your skin can get overwhelmed. Don't overspend on products. Choose products that have scientific research behind them. At Face Theory, if you're not happy with a product, just say so, just give us a shout and we'll give you your money back, no problem.
I know you're gonna love this Kodak Dot Plus printer. You guys just connect it to your smartphone and then you're gonna use the Kodak Photo Print app. It's going to print you a 4x6 photo. I am just in awe. I love how these turned out. Also, the printer comes with a free cartridge of 10 photo sheets. I can assure you, you are going to love this printer as much as my family has. You guys have to check it out for yourself.
Streamline event and appointment booking with Amelia's sleek, modern, and fully customizable booking forms. Tailor the colors, fonts, and design to match your brand and seamlessly integrate with your WordPress website. Whether it's for events or appointments, Amelia makes booking simple, stylish, and perfectly aligned with your business. Enhance your booking experience today at WPAmelia.com. That's WPAMELIA.com. Amelia.
When you learn a language with Babbel, you start a journey that takes you further and further. Anytime and anywhere you wish. It's easy and fun. Broadens your horizons and keeps your brain fit. A journey into new thoughts, new cultures, new adventures. So what are you waiting for? Start your journey with Babbel now. Go to babbel.com or download the app.
BadCreditLoans.com is a pioneering service provider that has carved a reputation in the financial industry for its dedication to helping individuals with bad credit secure loans. By making timely repayments, borrowers can gradually repair their credit history, thereby increasing their chances of securing better loan terms in the future. BadCreditLoans.com serves as a beacon of hope for those with bad credit. Simple, fast, and reliable loan application process. And its commitment to responsible borrowing makes it a trusted partner in the journey towards financial stability.
Serving Central Texas since 1889, TFNB Your Bank for Life takes pride in being more than a bank. At TFNB, we remain committed to these principles. If you value them too, come join us. TFNB, Your Bank for Life.
The Pete Souza Show carries on, minus my Doc Gooden picture. That's kind of that is the breaks of the studio that is not in Central Texas with a little more stability. That stability being Scotty Swingler. Now we've got a special guest we're going to bring in right now, Scotty. This guy is actually like 6 degrees to my family, and my beautiful mother. His name is Mr. Steven Swingler. There he is. What's up? Hey, what's up, Mr. Swingler? How's it going?
It's all good. Finish telling your story.
No, I mean it's and this is where I get a little frustrated with Scotty, as I'm sure you do at times. I got the opportunity to meet Mr. Swingler. I'll call you Steve, right?
Please.
You'd probably rather that. Yes.
Yes. Sir.
And so I met him at a Baylor tailgate, and we were chatting, and come to find out that he does a lot of work with universities, one of which is Villanova, where he has spent time there in the past. And I think Kathy Gallagher is a woman that you have worked with before there. Kathy Gallagher, like, totally knows my mom. And we put this thing together. I was like, wow, that's amazing. And so there is a little bit, and it made sense because, you know, Scotty's family and you know, you feel like family, you know, as a consequence of that or a result of that. And yeah, man, it's really cool. And it's really cool to have you on today as we approach Thanksgiving. Appreciate you doing this.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for the opportunity. I want to thank Chris as well. But first of all, why did you make me follow your brother? That guy's hilarious.
He's yeah. I've had to follow him all the time.
Yeah, I'm going to work on being his agent. I'm going to bring a package to you to have him on weekly. I think he needs a weekly segment.
I'll tell you a funny story about him. You know, unfortunately or fortunately, there's been events in life, whether it's been weddings or funerals, where, you know, he and I end up being the ones that speak. And I'll always go first, and he always goes second. And recently I was at an event where I spoke, and I thought to myself halfway through, I was like, wow, son of a bitch, he's not behind me this time. I feel so much better about this because it was something in Texas where, you know, he didn't come behind me. So, Yeah, he is quite the closing act, and it's tough to open for him, and it's tough to follow him for sure.
Sure. As I'm finding out. No,
Yeah.
I'm here similar to Mike to say some words of appreciation and thankfulness. And Pete, I'll start with you. You and the show and your audience have all been a tremendous blessing to Scotty, and by extension, our family. And I'm truly grateful. Pete will nod his head and confirm that I've told him this in person, right? I think the first words we spoke, I shared appreciation because it is very, very sincere. You and the show have been a bright spot in what at other times has been a challenging year or so. So thank you to everybody that supports the show and makes this happen. We are truly grateful.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't say, I just feel like it comes naturally that Scotty has been it's been a two-way street, that he has been a total gift to me and my situation in this show. So it goes both ways. I've been very fortunate.
So thank you.
Yeah.
I know your brother took all my time, so I'll try to go fast.
No, you got plenty of time. Please take all the time you need.
But no, the point is the thankfulness. But Chris did ask me to share some things about Scotty that people might not know. And the truth is, if you've watched the show once or twice, you probably got a pretty good handle on who he is. Whether he's on your show, doing his own podcast, teaching, preaching, or just telling stories with his friends, right? He's never short on words, right? I mean, I think your brother just told the story about last week's show, and he did the show by himself on one topic. So I asked my wife, Joni, shout out to a great and patient mother, was this kindergarten or first grade? And neither of us remember perfectly, but it was one of the two. And he is our oldest of three. So like a lot of parents, we look back and say, well, we made our mistakes on the first one. Sorry, Scott. So we go to this parent-teacher conference, and we're ready for, this great report about how intelligent he is, because he is, and, what a nice, polite young man he is, because that's who we tried to raise him to be. And this teacher unloads her frustration that she cannot get this kid to stop talking. So we say we're sorry, we'll go talk to him, and we sit him down for this serious talk. Put that stern parent face on as best we could, and tried to explain to him that when you're in class, when you're in school, there's times to talk and then there's times to not talk, and we need you to listen to the teacher, and when she says don't talk, stop talking. And he was feeling the heaviness of the moment, the seriousness that we're trying to convey. And he looks up, and I think there were almost tears in his eyes, and it was very sincere and emotional. He said, I just have so much to say.
I love it.
And he has not stopped yet. Right? You know that. But the fun thing for us in his family is he's now got this 18-month-old daughter, Marigold, that shares his talkativeness. And payback is coming, brother.
Well, I also want to add is that it's one thing, and we all have been surrounded by people who talk and don't get anywhere. Like the kid's good at talking. I mean, he has a message. He knows how to tell a story. He punches certain parts of it. So I don't know if he got that from you or your wife, but like he does have the gift of gab in the best way possible.
Yeah. Now he, I'm not sure. I think it comes from my father. I think it skipped a generation. So I'm gonna give credit to his grandfather, my father.
I do want to ask you a question or two about, Scotty growing up, because one of the things that you and I have chatted about a little bit, and one of the things that Scotty has talked about on the show, but I really value and also kind of treasure, because I was raised in a similar family as far as like Villanova University was concerned. Like we just grew up going to games that kind of like, it was kind of a crappy stadium and a crappy gym, but it was Division I, and it was like we were always there. And I know you guys were the same exact way with Baylor. And that's why Scotty has the knowledge and also the passion that he does. But like, what was it like, bringing him around, having him in tow, to all those events early on in his life? And, for you, it was just business as usual, supporting the Bears.
No, he loved it. He was interested, at an early age. And this is the part where I've got some pictures to go along with it. And Pete, you teed it up perfectly. His Baylor fandom, he got it naturally. He's the third generation Baylor Bear, Baylor grad. His mother and I were both Baylor grads, and at this point, his siblings are all Baylor grads. But he's got these pictures, and here we are back with Daniel Sepulveda. When outside of Daniel Sepulveda, there wasn't a whole lot of to cheer about on the team. This is Guy Morris, and you talk about the Guy Morris era. Look, Scott's got a big smile on his face. He's happy to be there. We're rolling through Dominic Ziegler of the Texas A&M overtime win, right? Yeah. Look at that smile. So he's truly a big fan. There's his high school buddy and China Spring hero, Sean Bell.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
So that's little brother in the front. Scott's kind of back there in the back.
Okay.
But yeah, we went to all the meet the team, get the autographs, do all that. There's the point where the things were kind of turning. I think I've heard Scott tell you this story on the show that he asked me, hey, could RG3 win a Heisman? And my answer was, look at that smile. He just met RG3. And I told him, you got to win a lot more games. And they did.
Yeah. And you knew that back then, like, hey, it's all about winning games, right? We'll help you win the Heisman. And
oh, sure.
That is, man, I'll tell you something. I could have looked at those pictures forever. That is like, did you guys did you guys share moments at a lot of those, like, let's say meet the team or meet the coach, it seems like you weren't just in attendance for games, you were in attendance for just about anything to support the athletic department in school.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. And he loved all of it, basketball, baseball, whatever we would take him to. He would fully engage himself, try to learn who the players were, learn the game when he was younger, ask me questions about the game. And so his curiosity started early, and I think he's still using it today. So my last pictures. Yeah. So he played everything. So from Baylor to sports a little bit. Soccer, we started first. I think he was 5. Got these little group of kids together, never played organized sports, all going to learn to play soccer together. The coach gathers them up at the first practice and says, well, boys, we need a team name. And one of the kids, the coach's son, was actually very, very serious about, well, our name is going to be Friends. We're going to be the Friends. And fortunately, other ideas came and they became the Cheetahs. But from 5 on, he played football, basketball, baseball, cross country, track. He tried everything.
There it is.
He's brought some pictures to the table. But in 2006, he wanted to run summer track through the city of Waco, and they had some Baylor athletes volunteer as
muscles
as track coaches. And he went out there and he told me he wanted to run the 100, and he did that a couple of times and figured out that might not be the right place for him. So they said, how about the 800? And he worked hard over the summer and got better at the 800. And during the summer, we planned a family vacation to Colorado. And it came time for the Waco meet where you could qualify to go to the games of Texas in Austin, the state meet. And he qualified. And truthfully, his mother and I were shocked. And she looked at me and goes, well, that's during our vacation. We didn't expect him to qualify to go to state, right? Let's be truthful. And she looked at me and said, so what do we do? And I said, we figure out how to let him run. And so we took off on our vacation. He and I flew back to Austin, spent the night. He ran. We jumped on the plane and flew back and caught up to the rest of the family in Colorado. But that just speaks to him competing, right? He wasn't an 800 runner before, but they kind of switched him over to the 800. And by the end of the season, he'd earned his way to the state meet. So surely you got a picture of that too, right, Scott?
Let's get it up there.
I do not. I didn't see the state. The state
I
one.
added it to the album late. My apologies. I've got the big blonde hair flowing as you're trucking
Okay.
down the track. But
Scotty, anything? By the way, Scotty, anything to add? I mean, come on. I was up here while my brother was. Anything to add to this before we break
Hey,
it up?
I'll tell you my favorite story about my dad and playing sports. And my dad was like the perfect dad as far as like, I don't think I ever experienced like hard criticism or like unnecessary, like, you know, my dad was not one of those dads who was like, you got it, like mean sports dad, but was always like coaching me and giving me advice and telling me. And I'll never forget, I was probably 8 or 9 years old and I'd been playing soccer my whole life to that point. And I started to get interested in football. And I said something to him like, I decided I was going to be a wide receiver in the NFL, like at like 9 years old. And I was like, Dad, I'm going to play in the NFL. I'm going to play wide receiver. And he looks at me and I'll never forget it. He looks at me and goes, you want to play in the NFL? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, start kicking.
Hey, that's a knowledgeable sports fan dad.
Listen, no 9-year-old kid wants to go outside and start kicking field goals. I was like, oh, my dad's stupid. He doesn't know anything. I'm going to play wide receiver, right? And now I'm a 5'7" shrimp of an adult man, and he was right. The only path I ever would have had to be a football player beyond high school was kicking. So that's my favorite. That's my favorite story that I tell often about my dad. It was start kicking.
Well, you're kicking ass, and Steve, you did too today. I can't thank you enough for coming on and sharing some of your time before this big holiday. I mean, and I think we all got to give props to Chris Fischer. Really cool thing to put together.
Right.
He's a special dude, man. So, Chris, thank you so much. Anything else from you?
No,
Steven Swingler, before we let you go, man. Is that the home office?
It's been an honor to be here, and I'm grateful. What did you say?
Is that the home office there?
Yeah, this is where I work. I'm up in the attic, so to speak. Yeah.
Oh, my man. Well,
no,
yeah.
Hey, Scott, we love you. We're proud of you. Great job on the show, but everywhere else too. Love you.
You got it. That's awesome, Scotty. Scotty heard that loud and clear. Steven Swingler, baby. Man, this gets better and better. We're going to take a quick break. We got one more. We got one more coming up. We'll wrap it up and we'll get everybody started for Thanksgiving. The Pete Souza Show. Man, we are grateful. Grateful for Slovacics and grateful for Mike Souza and Steve Swingler so far. We'll be right back.
It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
Experience with the Bosley MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again.
BosleyMD.com.
Join us at golfpartnerusa.com and discover why we're the trusted choice for golf lovers worldwide. That's GOLFPARTNERUSA.com. Golf Partner. Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. That's INTERNXT.com today.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress, that helps you calm down and feel better. You sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NORDVPN.com.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Dive into adventure with scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com. At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at fullwellfertility.com. Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more.
It's the Pete Sousa Show.
With San, owning iconic furniture no longer requires paying a premium. With over 15,000 satisfied customers worldwide, we've proven that high-quality furniture doesn't have to come with a high price tag. Explore our collection today at san.com.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. We deliver premier protection at affordable prices and express shipping. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels. Visit OpenGOAAALUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com.
Stability.
Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can play with as little as $1. Download the app today and sign up with promo code Sousa to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code Sousa. That's S-O-U-S-A. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog. Make picks. Win money.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play-and-get-terms_DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369.
Pete, I need to confess something to you.
What's that?
I've been so busy throwing photos in and out of StreamYard because it only lets me do so many at a time. I don't have my Underdog picks to display, but I'm going to tell you what I'm picking for tomorrow's Thanksgiving. And
that's perfect.
And I want you to talk back to me on this. All right.
Okay.
Number one, Amon-Ra St. Brown over or higher than 6.5 receptions against the Green Bay Packers. That feels great to me. Second, George Pickens higher than half a touchdown receiving. That dude is outside of Jackson Smith and Jigba, maybe the best receiver in football right now. And then Harrison Butker over higher than 2.5 extra points made. I think the Chiefs are scoring touchdowns in this game. I know the Cowboys defense played really well against Philadelphia, but I think Mahomes is going to be a little extra juice being back home in the state of Texas on Thanksgiving. Big game. So those are my Underdog picks.
There you go. Take him to the bank, baby. All right, let's get to our last guest, a man who needs no introduction and is no stranger to big-time media. I can't believe he's taken some time out of his day to hang with us a little bit. There he is, Kevin Fischer. What's happening, brother? You see that? It looks pretty nice in Florida.
Yeah, first time caller, long time listener, Pete.
What's up, brother?
How you doing? You know, when I got a call from Chris about the show, this is obviously a no-brainer to jump on with you guys. I think everything that you guys are doing with the show is just amazing. finding a way to convert this Big East guy to be a Big 12 guy is it's no easy task, but it's slowly coming along. And I'm even feeling sorry for Scotty at times with the Baylor struggles. And I think your brother said it best. It sounds like I'm listening to WIP callers calling in after an Eagles loss in Philly some of these days. But look, I think the one thing that Chris has asked me for stories, Scotty's asked me for pictures. I'm thankful and grateful that social media did not exist at the time, so we do not have pictures that may have surfaced from Center City or wherever we may have gotten,
we were hanging. Yeah,
from. I'm appreciative of that, but I do look. You guys are just doing an amazing job with the show, and for me, it's been great because working from home, actually. 11 o'clock comes along and I take our dog out for a walk. I take a nice long hour walk. It's helped me become a little bit more healthy. It helped me drop 14 pounds in the process, and enjoy tuning in every single day, man.
Dude, you're the man. You look great too. And here's something to say, like when you started, because you're no dummy, and like you're a thoughtful sports guy, even though we're both from the same part of America, so it's like we can get a little rammy at times. But you are a very thoughtful, smart sports guy. So when I saw that you were watching, I was like, damn, that's really cool. Like Fish knows what, he just knows the deal, and he's not like a hot takey kind of guy. So I was like, I think I might be on to something when you started to like chime in. I swear to God, and show some support. So like that meant a ton to me. So like, thank you for being like vocal in your support, because it really did make me think, okay, we really are onto something, because everybody needs that kind of, you need that gust of wind behind you sometimes. I mean, you Women's Tennis Association, you did that for a while. Obviously, you were with the Sixers. Were you with Seton Hall before the Sixers? Is that right?
I was. Yeah, that's right.
How about that memory, dude? Who was your coach at Seton Hall?
Man, I don't even know if I lasted a basketball season. I got up there. I was there. I went through baseball season. I was there for 6 months, and I had this opportunity with the Sixers come up.
What? So tell me about who was it? Bobby Gonzalez?
Andre Barrett, Marcus Toniel.
Yes.
The kid that transferred in from Duke, who was there. It was a good group, but I never really worked a few games, but never really made it through a whole season, I don't think.
So how many years were you with the Sixers? 4?
5 years with this. Well, you gotta keep in mind, 5 years working full time with the Sixers, but I also, when I was at Villanova, worked game nights every single night, including the finals run.
I'm going to be selfish here, because I wanted to ask you some of these stories for a long time. So that finals run, right? And just recently watching the Iverson documentary on Amazon, which is really good. I mean, I'm here for all that stuff, but it reminded me of, even though they didn't come away with the title, there was also an NBA TV doc, Everything But the Ring, or Everything But the Chip, I think, about that team. What about that run, that 2001 Sixers run, did you enjoy the most, or you remember the most, being right there?
Yeah, I mean, I think being able to work the games. I mean, I'm sitting courtside for most of the games, and I think the most memorable thing is just how electric the city was around every single home game. I mean, it was the toughest ticket to get. Iverson was capable of scoring 40 when 40 points meant something, because teams were actually playing, and it was the place to be. I mean, it was a who's who of celebs on a weekend, games that were selling out, and I think you look back at just how talented Iverson was. I mean, the supporting cast that he had along. If you're to flash a graphic of 4 guys that have, I guess, unimpressive resumes, all due respect to all of them. How did these guys get to the finals? They all trusted and fed into Iverson, and it was a great run for the city, the organization, and everyone involved.
You nailed it. It was, and I was reminded of that watching the doc. Like, it was like a social event more than a sporting event. It really was, and it was like, if you got tickets to the Sixers, you were like on another level. You know what I mean? Like, it was almost like a bit of a flex, right?
100%. Yeah, I mean, Iverson. I don't know if he had stock in Mitchell and Ness, but he had more. He brought that company more attention, wearing all the retro jerseys and everything else. It was a thing to do, a place to be. It was awesome to have a seat in that.
Give me your. So I'll tell you like a little insight to people. Like, Kevin left to work at the tennis association.
Yep.
So I got his job. And when Iverson came to town with the Nuggets, that was a big game. It was his first game back. And, you know, the visiting PR squad, it was just like Eric Sebastian at the time. And like, I don't even know if anybody else was with Denver. So I was like helping them with Iverson stuff. And I remember he was nice because he was in such a good mood, but he was like, kind of, who are you? I was like, well, I took Fisher's job. And he's like, how the hell is my man Fish? You know, like you could tell he like vibed with you. What was your favorite or most memorable, maybe even not favorite, it could have been a nightmare story that you can tell about working hands-on with Allen Iverson?
You know, I think the one thing that he never got enough credit for was he spoke with the media every single game. And it was, I mean, on days when, I mean, you open up the locker room and media just comes in, and it got to the point where we set up podiums outside just to help alleviate the crowd. There's so much interest. I just think he got it. It was never a tough ask to get him. Even there were moments that I was like, "Ooh, I don't know how this is going to go."
Yeah.
He got it. Once you got to him, he was great to work with, right? And there was a story, and there was a time, and we were in Milwaukee, and there was a reporter that was being really pushy with Andre Iguodala and pushing, and I tried to wrap him up. I wrapped him up once, wrapped him up twice, and Allen's in the background, and all of a sudden you hear Allen chime in his raspy voice like, "Hey, did you hear what my man said? Wrap it up, get out of here." And just to have a guy, I'm just some punk kid doing PR trying to figure out which end is up, but then you have a guy that's a Hall of Famer getting your back like that. It was kind of a cool moment to remember.
So when you look at your experience with him, like it was a positive one, and I think it's important that people hear that. You know?
Oh, 100%. I mean, sure, there's the stories that go along, and I'm sure I had more of a little bit of an outsider of the insider version of some of the things that went on. You get Billy King on here, he might be able to share some more stories on that. But you know, he was great to work with, and I think what he did on the court was amazing.
Yeah. Kevin Fisher, you're amazing, dude. For you to take time the day before Thanksgiving to chop it up a little and to say what's up means a lot, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me on. I just to let you know, this is a Daniel Stark injury lawyer approved car ride. I am parked in the parking spot. Had to drop Abby off for her basketball workout, meeting up with the fam to go do some Christmas shopping this afternoon.
Fish, you're the best, dude. Thank you very much. Appreciate the plug. I know Daniel Stark does.
Appreciate you guys. Keep up the great work, guys.
Take it easy, man. Kevin Fisher. That's great, dude. He's the man, and I get to send that to Daniel Stark. They're going to love that. Great relationship with them. Great relationship with everybody today. Chris Fisher, by the way, you're the man, dude. Part of the heartbeat for me and for this whole operation. Scotty, anything to say before we go? You can just shake your head no if you're nothing.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
How cool was that? It was an emotional roller coaster, wasn't it?
Yeah, my dad's being very nice. This is my favorite holiday, Pete. I get really mad, and I'll keep it shorter than a minute. Thanksgiving erasure is a problem. It's not Christmas time. It's Thanksgiving time. We can celebrate Christmas next week, all month. That's great. But this is the best holiday of the year. You literally get family, food, and football. And no expectation to do anything other than gorge and have a good time. I love it. I'm here for it. Very thankful for you, buddy. Thankful for this show and our friendship. And this was fun. Thanks for doing it.
Oh, love you, Swingler. Thank you, brother. And love you, Mike Souza, Mr. Swingler. Love you too, brother. Thanks for coming on. A lot of love for everybody. Thanks to the Rogue Media Network, of course. Grateful for them making this happen. Corey Dickman. Nobody's here if it's not for him. So I got to say that. And now I got to go find Christy and the kids because we have a glass blowing event that I am going to work myself up to be grateful for, that I'm going to meet them at. I'm excited to see Lex, though. She just picked Lex up from the airport. So, yeah, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Michael, thank you very much. Gobble, gobble. Yeah, and we'll see you on Monday. We're off. By the way, I'm going to be posting stuff on the channel I just posted something this morning, some fresh content from Big 12 show I was on. And yeah, we love you guys. And hold on, ready? Christy, what's up?
Hi.
Lex, guys, we're still on the air, but you're on the air now.
I heard you say my name. I'm famous.
We love you, Lex. All right,
I love you too, Pete.
Christy, I'll call you when I get done. I'll find out where you guys are. Okay.
We're grateful for you. Yeah, Pete. We love you.
All right, bye, guys. Love you too.
We're also at the house too.
Oh, you are? Okay. Goodbye.
Yeah.
All right, they're downstairs. Goodbye, everyone. Have a great Thanksgiving.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Show. Sports.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is stark.
Show. Sports.
Our professionals are not only experts in managing urgent concerns, but also in providing top-notch preventative health care. We're proud to connect pet owners to a vast network of licensed veterinary professionals, ready to address any immediate concerns. Book your first appointment today.
Nalgene Outdoor has been your trusted companion, fueling adventures and helping protect the planet. We're committed to reducing waste, improving access to clean water, and providing simple, safe, and sustainable products for you and your family. NALGENE.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.